white toast.
21-year-old Kailey DeMarco of North Ridgeville is putting herself through college one table at a time.
There you go. Anything else for you?
Waitressing keeps her busy when she's back home.
There you go. Have a good one.
But her story begins over a decade ago when gymnastics was Kailey's passion.
Once I became part of the team, it's like I was part of another family.
At just 10 years old, she excelled at competitions, raking in trophies and medals. The local newspaper even did a feature story about her.
They came to the gym and they took pictures and they made just a whole page story about it. I was so excited, I felt like a superstar.
The story ran March 2005. Kailey's parents were so proud they framed the newspaper clipping. 3 years later, that story would come to haunt them. A knock on the DeMarco's door one day changed everything. Police told Kailey's mom, Rhonda, her daughter may have interacted with a pedophile.
Things are racing through your mind, like, who could it be? Was it a teacher? Was it a coach?
When I went in there, they slid a picture towards me of him saying, "Do you know this man?"
Kailey DeMarco, now 13 years old, said she didn't. North Ridgeville police told her they had arrested him. His name, Kailey DeMarco.
They told me that he had an unhealthy obsession with me to where he wanted to become me, so he went to a court a month after that newspaper article had come out and said that he legally changed his name to Kailey DeMarco.
North Ridgeville police arrested the suspect, Kailey DeMarco, for voyeurism after subway workers found him snapping photos of young children. They found out he was also being investigated for child rape. That led to a search of his apartment where police found a collection of pictures of young children and that newspaper article on Kailey.
He had it cut out and then he had words taped around it, and he had it in a folder laminated in his apartment.
We just saw a little 10-year-old that had a passion for a sport, and he saw something completely different.
Police didn't find any evidence that Harold David Hassenruck, 32 years old at the time and now known as Kailey David DeMarco, ever physically stalked Kailey. But that didn't ease her fears.
They did a profile on him from where he started and then how bad his obsession got. And they said if they wouldn't have brought him in when they did, he could have come after me.
With Hassenruck behind bars waiting trial, the biggest problem for the DeMarco family now was getting his name changed. Kailey's mom couldn't believe he could just take her identity, so she got a court order to change it back.
Shocked. Why? How? And they just told me that you can legally change your name and be anybody you want to be.
Hassenruck pleaded guilty to raping a young boy. He was sent to prison, still listed under Kailey's name.
So I would Google my name and all these court documents would come up with stuff that he did that wasn't me.
This was the beginning of the nightmare for Kailey and her family. Getting her name back wasn't as easy as they thought it would be, and Kailey's reputation was at stake. Kailey's mom, Rhonda's court order wasn't enforced while Hassenruck was in jail. After countless phone calls and dead ends, she decided to hire a lawyer.
I had to pay somebody to get her name back. Like, you don't get to keep her name. I gave her that name. It's not yours, it's hers.
But that wasn't the end of it. The fight to win her name back stretched on. 6 years after the DeMarco family first found out, Rhonda found out charges of rape and burglary were still under her daughter's name.
We just thought it was done. So it's like, okay, good. And it wasn't until a few years later we discovered everything's still in her name.
Another court order, more red tape, and his name was changed on most records. But even now, Rhonda's not sure if Hassenruck's social security information has been changed back. And Hassenruck is set to be released from prison next year.
It's terrifying. It's like once I get out of college and I'm free to start my life, I have that weighing on my shoulders.
All of this has taken its toll on Kailey. She started suffering from anxiety.
I feel like I'm always just more cautious about what I do, where I go, and who I'm with.
And her mom is left with a warning for other parents.
There's predators out there you don't even know. You know, they could be watching her. Maybe look at how he got her name out of a newspaper article. You think, why not? I would think twice about that now. Maybe you run the article without the picture.
To Kailey, it seems like no matter what her family does, she'll always be linked to a man she sees as a monster.
It's crazy that it was one person that did all this and he did it without even owning a computer.